This shadowy black energy creature stood about 9 feet tall. It had to bend over to stand in the child's bedroom. The body was curved in the armpits and not as sharply defined as would be expected of a physical being. The head was small in proportion to the body. The eyes glowed white. The being moved as if in slow motion and seemed electronic. This bedroom visitation occurred in 1969 or 1972, a 5-year-old boy. The creature carried a black cube or box which seemed electronic. The boy's mother felt the creature intended to harm him with the box. When she told her son that the being could not harm him, it disappeared with a rapid shift of energy. No flash of light or obvious special effects. Sounds like the boy got visited by the Endermen. The Strange Tale of Ronnie Hill. A boy named Ronnie Hill, age 14, of Pamlico County, North Carolina, on the fine summer afternoon of the 21st of July, 1967. He was playing in his family's garden, apparently alone, when a strange scent filled the air. It was so bad that it made his eyes start to tear. He became suddenly concerned that this malodorous aroma had to do with the spaceship landing in a nearby field, thinking, and quite rightly, that no one would believe him if he told them he'd seen a flying saucer. He ran inside to get a portable Kodak camera. Returning to the scene, Ronnie saw that the spaceship, a spherical white thing that he estimated to be about 9 feet in diameter, had indeed come to rest in the nearby field. Ominously, from behind the craft stepped a creature clad in a shiny silver suit, with spindly thin legs and an oversized gnome head. It carried a black object that it inserted into the ground, withdrew, and then returned to his ship, which departed for points unknown. In the ship's wake, Ronnie could smell something similar to propane gas, but the thing that scared him the most was that this whole nightmare scene played out in absolute, dead, total silence. No birds chirping, no insects worry, no nothing. I've personally heard several non-human entity stories where the same situations happen, like the weird smells of propane gas, rotten eggs, or sulfur. But I do truly believe that the scarier ones is when the nature itself turns dead silent. It's an immediate sign of something wrong, making all the nearby animals, bugs and vegetation turn silent, as if they don't want to make a single noise or movement in order to not get detected. I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty disturbed by these findings, but I am going to share them anyway. Make up your own mind. I've got my hands on a leaked autopsy report of large insectoid creatures captured in the USSR. This document surfaced in 1996. Its authenticity is still debated, but it contains highly specialized and technical information with a lot of discoveries made ahead of its time, such as the existence of haploids, half the number of chromosomes in somatic cells among worker termites. If it was faked, it required a large group of specialized expert biologists with a lot of time and effort involved. It contains so much technical information that it is unreadable for the general population, which raises more doubts about the intentional disinformation angle. Here's the first page of the report, brief summary of the findings. Autopsy report describes an insectoid worker species, reaching a length of 2.5 meters when its lower limbs are extended. These species are most closely related to termites. Their cells are much larger than the cells of known animals. Their sizes can reach 100 micrometers. A portion of its tentacle apparatus not used for upper limb formation has evolved into organs for breathing and vocalization. It's also bipedal, meaning walking on 2 feet. These creatures have developed exoskeletal structures, including limbs, due to climatic changes, facilitating locomotion and leading to increased brain development. Their blood system is advanced, with specialized vessels and organs dedicated to efficient circulation and oxygenation, basically proto-lungs. This allowed them to adapt to lower oxygen environments underground and actually grow in size. They don't have a waste disposal organ. Instead, they secrete waste through their skin. That's why they have a terrible smell, which witnesses frequently report. The autopsy report contains much more specialized technical information, but I didn't include it because it wouldn't be readable for most people. If there are biology experts reading this, I will provide the links in the comments so you can dive deeper. Edward Agin, PhD in biochemistry, analyzed this report and provided more context and photographic evidence in his Real Monsters book. His research led him to a conclusion that this report most likely originates in 1985 and was done in the Institute of Evolutionary Physiology and Biochemistry, named after I.M. Sechenova in St. Petersburg. He based it on analyzing funding patterns, personnel changes, and an underground secret complex built under the Institute during those years. He also attached photographic evidence of an autopsy of one of these creatures performed in field conditions. Note that due to the angle of the photo, the head of the creature appears smaller than it actually is, which is roughly the size of a human head. Look at the fingers in the red circle in the left corner in the last image. The creature in the photo matches closely with the creature described in the autopsy report. Edward speculates that these beings originated roughly 200 million years ago and are closely related to modern termites. They were forced underground during the Permian extinction event and have been living there since, as they are best adapted to lower oxygen environments. Edward also noticed a lot of similarities with the leaked Q94-109A report by Don Birish, where cellular structures of EBEs were analyzed, and their findings are remarkably similar to Soviet research, especially the cell size. Most likely both Soviet and American researchers were looking at the same species. This is their speculated evolutionary tree. Now, the insectoid in an autopsy report was a worker, but they are part of a large caste system. They are much smarter higher castes who possess advanced technologies and even perform religious rituals. Higher castes are bigger and have larger eyes, which makes their head appear triangular. This makes them visually similar to an alien mantis, commonly reported by contactees and abductees. Now, for the disturbing part, these insectoids are predators. Their primary food source is the fluids of warm-blooded animals. It provides them with necessary nutrients and iron. Becoming a predator allowed them to have a much larger brain size, same as with our species. The mouth of a worker has two long fangs which inject digestive fluid, as well as a powerful pumping mechanism for sucking out body fluids. Their stomachs can hold up to 20 liters of liquid, which is pre-digested and can be thrown up so insectoids from other castes can consume it. Edward speculates that this is where the vampire myth came from. This also explains the chupacabra creature reported all over the world. They mostly attack livestock, but human casualties are also well documented. This is further proof of their cryptoterrestrial origin, as beings who evolve on other planets wouldn't have the necessary adaptations for digesting Earth animals. This is an example of a bite of these creatures. However, the author speculates that this is not the main way to get food for their society. These are rather small hunting trips of their worker caste. Higher castes have much more efficient and industrial food processing methods. All those cattle mutilations by UFOs are not for research or biomaterial gathering purposes. They are large-scale food processing operations. This is also corroborated by abductees such as Ted Rice and others, who witnessed large vats with human and animal body parts present in UFO ships. This could also explain a lot of missing persons cases and their interest in wars, conflicts, and natural disasters, which provides opportunity for people to go missing without drawing attention. Edward Agin and Anton Anfilov believe that Greys and Nordics are genetically engineered by insectoids and are treated as disposable workers. They can be easily controlled, and higher caste mantids don't care if they crash on ships and are retrieved by humans. The existence of predatory terrestrial insectoid species is the biggest secret which the government tries to hide from the general population. You can understand why, as it would rightly freak everyone out. Greys from outer space are used as a cover-up story to divert attention from the real origin and nature of these beings. This cover-up is also enforced by the insectoid race, as they would obviously prefer their prey to not have situational awareness. I will also add from my side that the general picture is probably much more complex and other species are involved too. But this may be one of disturbing facts which we will have to face during disclosure. Very interesting finding, I must admit, seeing the depiction of the creature and also hearing that they are mostly related to termites brought the memory back of one of the mummies that were found in Peru, since they have been saying that this is an insectoid hybrid and it's a creature that lived with us thousands of years ago. Something that I want to point out is that I've heard many times humans say, why do the aliens look like us and like the animals around us? Because there's encounters that mention how there's ones that look like a Nordic white people. There's also the reptiles, the avians, the lions, and the mantis as mentioned earlier. But I've also heard stories of the answer of this extraterrestrial beings. It's not that they look like us, it's the opposite. We look like them.